Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Today we have a dynamic program for you here. We're going to be talking about people helping people. To my left, immediate left, is Mrs. Tara Thomas, my co-host. We have to her left Janet Jakowski, First Vice President of Businesswomen of Purpose, Pastor Maurice Wilson, Shalom World Outreach Ministries, Sierra Leone, West Africa.
Yes.
And our anchor person is Deacon Gregory Williams of the Shiloh Baptist Church in Waukegan, Illinois. Greetings, folks here. We're very happy that all of you are taking time for your busy schedule to talk about Sierra Leone and how that the people in this country can work together in partnership with Sierra Leone. But first of all, Tara, I want you to talk to Janet Chakanowski, and I want to find out, talk to her about her program, Business Women of Purpose.
Well, does it have any type of affiliation, Business Women of Purpose, for your trip, your involvement in Sierra Leone?
Absolutely. We're sponsoring a dinner, a fundraising dinner that we're going to be hosting for Pastor Wilson on July 18th.
Okay.
So we're going to be heavily involved with that process.
So do you have a location yet, or you guys are?
We're working on that right now.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I recommend Milan.
Yes, absolutely.
Very nice out here.
Yes,
so.
yes. Deacon Williams actually has hooked me up with Elroy Reed, who is a powerful fundraiser coordinator. So I have already made contact with him, and then we will get that in motion.
So is this what Women of Purpose generally do? They find causes and they support them. And how long has Women of Purpose been around?
Women of Purpose just started in January. The goal of Business Women of Purpose is to bring not just business women together, but women who probably want to start a business, but they're not sure where to go, how to get started, and to help provide the tools to empower, to inspire, to encourage them, to build them up, and to allow them to walk in their God-given purpose so that they can achieve success in their lives. Once they achieve that success, now they can impact their communities, work with other women in their communities to bring them hope, especially women who have had challenges and they've just given up hope. So we want to resurrect and reignite these ladies so that they can become the women of purpose that they were born to be. Then once they have turned around their lives, then they can also now impact their communities.
So how many women are working with your group now?
Right now, we have approximately 10,000 women in the group across the United States. It's headquartered in Atlanta, and I just got back from Atlanta because we're in the planning stages of getting things moving in the right direction. And because we want to go internationally, we thought that it would be a great opportunity to partner with Pastor Wilson and help to bring the message of hope, not just verbally, but in our action, because they will need a lot of help in terms of support in supplies, food, non-perishable food, but also funding. Because from me just watching some of the documentary about what's going on in Sierra Leone, a lot of the children have lost their parents. And Pastor Wilson is like the liaison in the community. They go to him for everything. So he already knows that he may have to start an orphanage once he gets over there to help these children who have lost their parents.
Because their parents have died.
Yes, their parents have died.
Okay, so I was just wondering, you said there's about 10,000 members, so the chapter you have here in Illinois is a relatively new one, but apparently this organization has been around for quite some time.
The organization is fairly new. We just started in January.
And you have 10,000 members already?
We have 10, if you go to our Facebook pages, yes, we do. Okay. And I would say maybe about 5,000 of those women are active. All of them are not active. And some of the ladies are in Canada. We do have a few who are in some other countries overseas. But the goal of it is to bring women of all walks of life together, because we're strong and we're the ones who usually make things happen. So if we can empower these ladies and build them up to where they have the success that they need, then they can work in their communities to help bring up other ladies as well.
Have we been able with these 10,000 women, or even 5,000, to accumulate monies to be able to support Pastor Wilson's
We're working on that right now. One of the things that we're going to be doing, because we do have a PR firm, so we're going to be working a lot of the invitations for the dinner, and also work on getting materials out, because we're going to reach out not just in our community here in Lake County or in Atlanta, but we're going to be reaching out all over the United States. We're going to put a pamphlet together that will have a background of Pastor Wilson and the ministry that he does over there in Sierra Leone. And then we will have listed some of the needs, the immediate needs. The goal is to purchase a 40-foot container and fill that with supplies, but also the goal is also to raise about $50,000, because he will need the funds to take back with him.
Right, I know how the containers work.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
With that. Is there any way the children, I know Pastor Williams is with Shiloh, which is a wonderful Baptist church here in Lake County, it's in Waukegan, and they do a lot with children. Kids are very involved in the church. That's one of the things I really loved about Shiloh. The kids are really involved. Is there anything that students can do at various high schools? Because I know if they do various volunteer, students now, it's required to graduate to have X amount of volunteer hours. So if they could do any fundraising as well to bring monies that would assist Pastor Wilson.
Absolutely. One of the things that I'm working on right now, in fact, there's another young lady who was coordinating this with me. Her name is Elisa Gilbert Thomas. She's out of Evanston, so she'll be working heavily with me, and I'll be talking to a couple other ladies, because we just started putting this in motion about a week or two ago. Okay. But one of the goals is to set up different areas, whether it's in a high school or in a church, with boxes for people to bring donations, whether it's clothes or food, non-perishable food. And so we will set up a program that kids can get involved if they want to, so we can lay out, some strategies of how they can be involved.
And we've talked to the township supervisors, like, for example, Ms. Cynthia Maloney is a supervisor township person in Shields Township, which is part of North Chicago, and Ms. Patricia Jones, the township supervisor in Waukegan. Have you all met with either of them?
Not yet, but those are things that we have on our agenda to get in touch with. Like I said, we just started this, and so we'll be putting all of those areas in motion and get as many people involved in the planning process of this as much as possible.
So you're basically starting and asking the public now to help you. And do you have a website?
We're working on that right now.
Okay. I'm asking all the wrong questions.
That's okay.
I like to, since we're all in the support of asking the community for support of Sierra Leone, I would like for Pastor Maurice Wilson. You're the Shalom World Outreach Ministries in Sierra Leone. And I was just, if you check online, and I think if everyone go online, they will find Sierra Leone. And I'd like for you to tell us about Africa itself, though. Tell us about the continent of Africa.
Well, first of all, the continent of Africa is, we have different cultures.
Okay.
Different cultures. You have the cultures from the West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, and South Africa. They're all different. But when you talk about, I know much more about the West African culture. And we, first of all, believe in God.
Okay.
And we like serving God. And also, there are so many other type of worship we have in these countries.
Tell us about the dominant religion in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, I guess.
The dominant religion in Sierra Leone is the Islamic religion.
Okay, okay.
Yes, they have like 60% of the population.
Okay.
And 30% of Christianity.
Okay.
Yes, and just like 10% of just those who don't worship. Okay.
Is there pressure being a Christian in Sierra Leone?
Well, that's the problem. That's the thing I actually want to share right now, because we have a little bit of religious tolerance in Sierra Leone, that the Muslim and the Christians can stay together and without any problem. But looking at what is happening today, then we have to much more take our guard, prepare ourselves, So basically, those are the things that are happening.
Is it because of the terrorist factor? Is there a terrorist factor in Sierra Leone from the Islamic?
Well, we've not seen anything like that yet.
Okay.
We somehow listen to, we hear news about that from place to place, but it's like it's not that much felt in Sierra Leone like other West African countries, you know, because the laws of Sierra Leone is Bible-based laws.
Okay.
And these are the things that are making us to be able to live amicably with other religion in the country. Yeah.
So can you all live together simultaneously?
We live together simultaneously. We live in the same house.
Okay.
Everybody does what he wants to do. Like, who want to worship in an Islamic way can worship in an Islamic way. Who want to worship in a Christian way can worship in a Christian way.
So there's no threat for
It's
that?
not, well, we have not seen anything like that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned about Africa because isn't the second largest continent in the world?
No, Africa is the first largest
the
continent.
largest.
The largest.
It is the
Yes.
It's
largest.
The
very
largest,
important
yes.
to bring out the largest population of approximately.
Well, I really don't actually know exactly the population of Africa, but for Sierra Leone, I can tell you that Sierra Leone is like 6.1 million people
Okay, okay.
in Sierra Leone, and 60% of that.
And what's so special about Africa? Was it the beginning of mankind?
Well, we will not say that, because if we look at the Bible, it's like it is God who created the world, who created man in his
Okay.
own image and likeness.
Okay,
But talking about civilization
okay.
was born in Africa,
And specifically Egypt.
specifically Egypt, yeah.
Okay, okay. Tell us about the, you have a preparatory school, the Mark, what do you call it, the Mark?
Yes,
Mark preparatory school?
Yes, 9 years ago, let me say 9 years ago, there was an urge in my, there was a burden in my heart
Okay,
to help less fortunate children.
okay,
So how it was born is like I was taking my children to school, and I found out that some other children are playing in the streets whilst they're supposed to be at school.
okay.
So I was thinking about that when I went to take my children to school. I left them at school. Coming back home, this thing continued to burn in my mind. So I began to pray about it and ask God what it is. And when I discussed that with my wife, and she was able to say, this is the same thing that I'm thinking about. I just thought of it today. And so we began to put things together to see how we can be able to give scholarship to other less fortunate children that cannot be able to go to school. So we began to find out, go to looking at families around our community whose their children are not going to school. So we decided to help them, like 1 or 2, to pay their school fees, buy their uniforms, and get their school bags and everything, for them to be prepared to go to school to the next academic year. But looking at that, we found out that we will not be able to take care of everybody.
Right.
And with our resources, we can just help just 1 or 2 children. So later, as I was thinking about it, praying about it, I began to get a witness in my heart to like open a school wherein we can invite as many children and educate them for free. Yes, so that's how it all started. And when we started the school with 15 children. And now we've gone over 200 children.
Wow.
Yes.
Now the funding now, where did it come from?
Well, actually, initially when we started with our own funds.
Okay.
And I found out that our funds quickly run out. And we cannot be even able to take care of our own kids.
Right.
You know, so it's like we were all in the same page at that time, like taking care of others, and we lose all what we have, and started taking care, started asking for people to help us, help ourselves.
Okay.
So with that, I was opportune to come to America for the very first time. When I came to America for the very first time, I shared this with 1 or 2 people. And one of the main churches that I shared with when I came here, when I came to America the first time, it was the Jesus Name Apostolic Church.
Oh, yes.
And I spoke to the pastor. I met him in one of their cookouts, their picnics that they had. And somebody met me at a lady met me at the one store, and she was trying to evangelize, talking to me about Christ. So I told her that I am a Christian and I'm a pastor. So he said, wow, I would like to invite you to come to my picnic, my church picnic. I said, wow. I said, I would like to be there, but I don't know the area. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
So she gave me the directions and invited me personally to go there, that she would take me back home. So I found a ride, and they took me there, and I met with Pastor Kiples for the first time. He spoke with me, and just that I told him that I would be able to make it to come to the service on the Sunday. So I went there on the Sunday. He called me up on at the pulpit and told me to give 1 or 2 testimonies about my ministry and what I'm doing in Africa.
Oh.
And there and then, he started to support.
He's that type of minister.
Yes.
Is that church in Lake County?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know all the churches out here. There are
all
many.
right. So
Yeah, I'll give you Water Street.
then the second year when I came to America, I met with Deacon Greg Williams, and he introduced me to his pastor, Pastor
Francis.
Wallstone Francis. And Pastor Wallstone Francis saw the need of helping.
Another dynamic pastor.
And
Yes, he really
since
is.
then, they have been helping me every year when I come here. You know, so this school started just like that, and we have been using some of these funds that we give, I am able to collect here, get here. I use it to like paying teachers. First of all, what I usually do, I was using these funds to help the children buy school uniforms, buy school books, and all these things to help them. But I later found out that I am not helping, in a sense that the parents of these kids were not appreciative enough, because I'm not giving them as much as they were expected of me. So I decided to stop all that and begin to help pay the teachers, because I was having problems paying the teachers. So the support that I have here, I will use it to pay the teachers.
Okay.
And when I pay the teachers will be able to teach like 20 or 25 children with ease whilst they are receiving their pay. And I'll give the children also free education. And sometimes when I have books and uniforms, I can give books and uniforms to them, sometimes even feed them at school. But it reaches a point that the number of the schools started growing, and which, of course, I could not be able to do all by myself. So I started asking for funds, soliciting funds from different angles and different areas. But because of, you know, one day somebody asked me, why is it that your country cannot be able to support your school?
Okay.
I was just going to ask you, because
right.
you're rich in diamonds and minerals. So I'm wondering why the manufacturers were taking those products, those minerals, out of Sierra Leone and selling them all over the world. I mean, I like them. Every other woman in this country I know likes them. And they're pretty, you know, there is a source for them. There is a market for what you have. So I'm wondering why they don't return some of that money back into the community.
Well, seriously, I can tell you that when you go to Sierra Leone right now, you cannot be able to discover whether we have gold or diamond, because these monies are not being spent in our country.
Exactly. That's my point. So wouldn't you have to go to the politicians in that respect? I mean, like I know here in this country, one of the reasons, for example, Chicago's in trouble is many people are leaving Illinois to go to Wisconsin or Indiana to manufacture because they get a better tax break, which means they're putting money back into that particular state. So why can't you guys leverage it that way? Your government leverage that. You're taking these mines, which I don't know if they're privately owned or not, but they're still in your country, and you can exert taxes on those. Then that money can fund an education, correct?
Yes, that is what I'm saying right now. Most of those monies that are collected and are being misappropriated.
Being misappropriated. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
So
sense. Okay.
we cannot ascertain whether we can be able to get this or that. You know. So what we do, and also the school is a private-based school, private and also a Christian-based school.
Well, could you address that, because I think that would be very important for our audience. Students here are privileged to have the right to go to school for free if
Yeah.
they choose to do that, either to a public school or charter school. They're free. If they choose private schools, we have those as well as Catholic schools. But everyone in the United States has a right to an education. That's not the case in Sierra Leone, is it?
Well,
Or is it the
it's
case?
been professed to be so, but it's not so. Because if the teachers of the government schools are not being paid, they don't go to school. They go to the private schools who will pay them.
The private schools pay the teachers.
The private school pay their teachers.
So, but the students, how do they get to go to those schools?
Well, the parents has to pay for their children to go to school.
And if they don't have the money?
If they don't have the money, then they stays at home. They don't go to school. Yeah. And if they do go to school, to the public schools, they can never be able to get the education they need.
Okay, so you're saying the public school education is more inferior than
No,
the private
well,
school?
I don't want to use the word inferior
They're not receiving
because
it, you're saying.
they are not receiving it, because most of the teachers are finding green pasture, looking for a place where they can be able to receive a pay, a salary at the end of the month. Because it can reach, for the government teachers, can reach like 6 months and they are not being paid. So it's like they prefer to go to a place where they can pay them. That is why you actually see most of the schools in our country are being privately owned. Yeah.
Well. Okay, we mentioned the school. What about the government does not support the schools? What you saying?
What I wanted to say is that the government do support schools. But being that this is a Christian-based school,
Okay.
is being sidelined.
Okay.
Unless, if we allow them to come in, they will bring the Islamic people,
Okay.
and the vision for that school will not be achieved.
Well, and basically, in most countries, religious schools
Yeah.
are not supported by the government,
Yes,
generally.
okay, yeah.
Except the only exception I can see that I'm aware of are the Jewish schools in Israel, because Israel is a Jewish country, so they support their schools that way. But they, of course, they perpetuate the Jewish faith in the schools, so there's not a problem. But generally, religious schools are not. Our religious schools here are not supported by the government either.
No.
If you go to a
Right,
Catholic
right,
school,
right.
Jewish school, you have to pay independently. So that's pretty typical.
Well, let's let Deacon Williams, Gregory Williams, tell us how the Shiloh support Pastor Wilson.
I had an opportunity to meet Pastor Wilson many years ago.
Okay.
The churches many other churches have embraced the program, and we have supported Pastor Wilson over the years. And he lets us know. We've also provided desks, and we provided other resources.
Okay.
And Pastor Francis is one of the in charge of the missions, some of the missions programs from the National Baptist Convention. So our heart is in. We are a church that does embrace missions.
Yes, as far as I can remember, they have a director of foreign mission.
Director of Foreign Mission, I think Pastor Francis is in that position at this
Is
time.
that part of the North Shore Ministers Alliance?
The North Shore Ministers Alliance is a group of the 13 churches,
Okay.
National Baptist churches. And we come together this Friday, Good Friday coming up. We're having the 7 last days, which is where all the churches have came together.
Now, is that going to be at Shiloh or
At the
at Mount
Shiloh
Sinai?
Church
Okay.
on 8th and Genesee
At
Street.
12 o'clock, right?
I'm not sure of the time, but it'll be
I think it's
It will be
Simple as words.
next Friday.
Normally it's in the
Usually
At
starts
noon,
out in the
probably.
morning, or in the morning, and then it runs till about 5 or 6
Oh, okay. Great.
during the day.
Right. Fantastic. Okay, why don't we go to something that the whole world is concerned about, and that's Ebola for just a second. And we'll get back to the fundraising, the activity, that Janet is involved in. What about, but when did it start in Sierra Leone, or where did it start? I know it started in Africa, right?
Yes. Actually, Ebola is a viral disease that started in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, in
Okay.
1976.
Okay.
And it died down, and it was like forgotten. But recently, last year in May, it started, and it's affecting and killing a lot of people.
We don't know what,
Caused it to erupt.
how this started.
Well, Ebola actually is, how it happens is people will feel like fever,
Okay.
and it will continue to vomiting,
Okay.
and it will affect the lungs
And it affects the kidneys too, doesn't
and
it?
the kidneys.
And once they shut
at the end,
down-
once they shut down, then the person, in 21 days, the person will die.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
My son is starting at medical school, and I asked him, I called him today to ask him about Ebola, and he says the problem is once it gets to the kidneys, it's pretty much terminal, and that is that 21-day incubational period.
Yes.
Right,
That's
where
correct.
they can learn that. It's also when it's most susceptible because it's viral. That's a problem. I thought you had to just touch a person. He said it's viral. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Christopher. Okay.
Okay, great. Now, it's my understanding that you're affected because, I don't mean bodily, but when you got quarantined or something, you cannot go back there.
Yes, I cannot, since I came last year, I came here, I was here in October last year,
Okay.
and I was planning to go back in September because school's supposed to have reopened in September.
Okay.
But unfortunately, as I was planning to go back, then there was a ban in my country, in Sierra Leone, West
Okay.
Africa, also in Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, and also in Guinea-Conakry, Republic of Guinea. So these 3 countries have been affected with Ebola, and these 3 countries also have been banned from people to travel to these countries since then. And because of that, all flights were canceled. We were not able to, I was not able to go back. My ticket got expired,
Okay.
and I was waiting for them to announce that the Ebola is, because the way how they were saying it, we did not know about Ebola. We did not know how to treat Ebola. We thought that it was, that is why a lot of people died, because they were taking care of their families
Okay.
who got the disease, taking care of them, and even some of them who died, because we have that culture, like if your relative or your mother or father died, you're supposed to be one of the people that's supposed to clean the body, the corpse, So because of that, a lot of other young people died, was affected with the disease, and they died, And so this happens that people did not even understand what was happening until it has spread so fast,
Hasn't it been over 100,000 people have died from Ebola in the last
wow.
6 months?
In the last
Yeah.
6 months,
Over
over 100,000
100,000.
people has died. So it's like most people try to keep themselves at home. And now there was no school since then, no electricity, no food. And all those people, even some of these children lost their parents. And some of these children who their parents contracted this disease, the medical personnel were able to take their children from them because they don't want their children to be affected too. So eventually these people died, these parents died and left these children. So that is why I'm having a heavy burden right now, because a lot of people are going back to the school and trying to say, we need help, we need help, we need help, because they know that I always come with help for the community.
Pastor, I was just wondering, these companies who they were shipping out or exporting diamonds and gold, are they still working?
Well,
are those plants still functioning?
From what I heard, most of them are closed down.
So those are closed down as well?
Yeah.
Well, I think now something's going to happen.
Yeah.
When you close down money for people, you tend to get their attention. So I think that if we're not able to manufacture and ship out or export diamonds and gold, I think that pretty soon we'll be able to do something about that, because that's a problem. I mean, people, money, green, yeah, we tend to get on that relatively quickly. And that's unfortunate to say, but I would think that someone in the government or they're going to want to attack.
Presently, as we are talking now, we have a political unrest in our country right now. So that is why when all the churches that I go to, I try to tell them to please pray for us, because now we have Ebola and also political problems, you know.
Is the political unrest due to the financial? Are they trying to change the political status of parties?
Really, I'm trying to get a hold of that to try to know what is going on, what is really going on. But presently, the president and the vice president is at a little bit confusion. And even the political party, the ruling party right now, is seriously in some disarray.
Are the president and the vice president members of the same party?
Yes.
Okay, but they're at odds with one another in terms of leadership?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Now, it's undetermined when you would go back. You've been in contact with your family? How's your family?
I've been in contact with my family. My family actually is going through a lot of strains.
Yes.
Because of last year, they could not be able to take their exams. My children was not able to take their exams. So what they did is like they were teaching the children from the television.
Okay.
But since they lost electricity. And also, yes, so they were not able to do that. So that was so heavy on me. And I have to be here to take care of them.
Yeah.
And now, even if I go now, it's like I will go and fall into the same situation.
Yes.
Because there's no way on which I can be able to raise money or find any resources. So it's like it's better for me to be here for a while to be able to help them over there until I'm able to do something to go back.
But isn't the United Nations involved now? Haven't they stepped up and identified Sierra Leone as a country in severe need, and they're supposed to be receiving additional funds through Red Cross?
Well, yes. I don't know. I was talking to someone recently, even today, this morning, that I was saying a lot of things that are happening that you hear these big organizations here telling us that we are shipping this, we are shipping that and that. But when it reaches the people, to meet with the people, to talk with the people, they are not there to talk with the people. And most of these helps that these big organizations are saying they are giving does not reach the people.
Well, that's the problem they were having in Haiti. And some of the ministers here, actually in Illinois, who I met, were saying that they were aware of that. And you mentioned containers earlier. And I personally belong to Trinity International Baptist Church in Crystal Lake. Pastor Love, and he knows your pastor pretty well too, at Shiloh. And we had that problem because they had adopted Haiti after Haiti had that horrible hurricane or whatever.
Earthquake, yeah.
Earthquake, thank you. And so what they did is they now send people from the church with the containers to make sure that the food that is collected in the container actually is received by that parish. So it would probably help for your case at the school. You're saying that Shiloh is giving desks and maybe computers or whatever they're giving, but when they're getting there, and I understand that happens in these third world countries, that once it gets there, the government they confiscate it and it goes wherever they direct it.
Yeah.
But if you can, or someone from your church can be there leave here to go with it, then isn't that more of an assurance that the people will receive it?
Well, I have got 1 or 2 people that have left here and went to my church.
Okay.
Went to my home. They saw my family. They went to the church. They went to the school, and they were there. Like Bishop Todd Godin from he was here in Todd Godin, and also Sister Margaret Oscar.
Okay.
Went to Sierra Leone. She spent 1 month with me, and she was there at the church and the school, and that should show because.
No. I'm not questioning if they go to find out that this exists.
Yes.
I'm saying that they're going to actually have to go with the container to ensure the container reaches the destination.
No. For us, the container will definitely reach the destination.
Okay.
Because why I'm saying that because we have a tax exempt back home, and we can be able to clear the container without, as soon as the container lands, we can be able to clear the container out of the port.
Okay.
Yes, and we have a good storage where we keep all our things.
Well, then help me to help the viewers understand when you say that it's corrupt and they're not receiving.
I'm talking about the big organizations. I don't want to call names here.
Okay.
But the big organizations that profess to have all the means of helping, when they go down there, they even help themselves instead of helping the people.
Oh, I see.
That is what I'm saying. So they don't have a direct contact with the people. They don't come one-to-one with the people to know the needs of the people. You know, so when they share these goods to those who they've already chosen, by the time it reaches the people, they don't have it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a problem on the end in Sierra Leone.
That's the problem.
That's not a problem here in the United States.
Yes.
Because if we're sending the food and we're sending the funds and we're sending
Well, all
resources.
these big organizations have their representatives down there.
Yes.
You know, so I am saying this for at least some people to hear this.
Yes.
Some of these things are not reaching. Some of these things are not reaching the people, the beneficiaries. They are not reaching the beneficiaries, you see. So that is why, because we are tired of these things, because I was there too. I was expecting, like, when we are doing these things, we need to be having help. I've gone to several of those people, trying to talk to them, asking them to help us. They will tell you to write a project proposal. You will write a project proposal, send it there, and they will use that project proposal and get the funds and get all the things that they need to get from it, and they siphon it before it reaches you. You know, so that is why I am so happy that I was able to come by myself. Come by myself, meet with the people one-to-one, talk to them, and let them understand the reality of it. You know, and I go back. I have a lot of pictures. I have thousands and thousands of pictures to show what I'm doing. I bring it back. I show them what I'm doing, how we're distributing the food, how we're distributing the clothing, and most of these things, you know, it turned out again to be like a burden on me, because when I come here, only few people help. And those few people that help, I have that money, I have to do this, I have to do that, taking care of the teachers, pay the teachers, and helping the children. And the last container I shipped from Illinois, I supposed to spend $5,000 to ship it.
Okay.
But I end up spending $12,000 because I was not able to raise the money here to pay. I have to go back home and sell my landed property to be able to raise the money to send here so that they can be able to release the bill of lading. And at that time, in the process of that time, the container had been already in the port for about a month, and it has gone to demurrage. I should not have paid to clear it, but I had to pay up to about $5,000 to $6,000 more to be able to clear the container. You know, so in other words, it came back on me because I don't have much people who can be able to support. That is why we are so happy for this program, so that we can be able to at least reach out there, and you are there and you can be able to do whatever you can be able to do in support, in finance, in anything that you have. You can be able to get all of us, get in contact with us, and be able to get this. Because right now we are trying to put a container
So
for September.
You're putting a new container now, and
Yes.
it's not filled.
No, we are trying to do that.
Okay.
So we are soliciting funds, and also soliciting goods like food, non-perishable food, and also clothing, so that we can be able to send back to help these people.
There are organizations here, because I'm sure Shiloh's a big church, but that's a big burden for them to to absorb all alone. Okay, but there are organizations like Delta. There are sororities, Delta Sigma Theta, Zeta Phi Beta. They're having a very big thing. I think we need to get you in contact. I think hopefully through this show, through the largest sorority, the fraternities, Kappa Alpha Psi, the Q Psi Phi. Those guys, they really do what they say. Okay. And these are national organizations.
Okay.
So that it's not just one church. Which God bless them. God bless them. But $12,000, even for Shiloh, is not in a rich community. They're doing the best they can, I'm sure. But when you have huge organizations like the Deltas, like Links Incorporated, which is a very prestigious and affluent organization of women. We're talking women here, and generally women can step up. I would contact them, and you have a chapter, Harbor Lights, right here in North Shore.
Yeah.
These organizations, they have power because they're in 50 states.
Okay.
So you're not pulling from one church. Now you're pulling from 50 states if they make this a national initiative for them. And right now you don't have time to wait. You don't have time to wait for like this to go through some big committee and get approved, whatever. All right, we need to put it out there and say, look, Deltas, AKAs, Alphas, whatever. We need this help now. These kids are suffering and dying today. So if this money isn't going, if they want to send someone, they're not going to be able to send anybody because they can't get in. But if they can send it back to you since you live there, we need to go to national organizations. I'm just saying. That's what I would suggest.
Well, there's not a, you don't have a website set up yet, huh?
We will be working on that. Like I said, we just started this. In fact, because Pastor has been in touch with me, and myself and my family, we have helped as much as we can.
Yeah.
And I decided, we need a fundraiser. We need to do something. I knew we need to do something. And I was so grateful when I was out of town, and he called me and told me that he met you and would have the show. And I said, awesome, because this will be the medium to get the information out there. But I have also made contact with a Catholic resale shop that runs a resale program. Spoke with the manager. He tells me, just let me know what you need, when you need. So we'll be making a list, whether it's furniture, books, clothes, whatever he
Goodwill
needs.
is also for the agency to check.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're just beginning to get the word out there. Pastor's goal is to go back in what, November?
No, in October.
October. So the goal is to get a, 40-foot container?
Yes.
And to fill it up with everything to take back, whether it's books, clothes, uniforms, whatever. Because being from Jamaica and grew up in the country, I can tell you right now that those kids know nothing about materialistic anything. If you give them a pencil, they'll be so happy to get it.
Oh, I understand.
Everything.
I wish you could bring that to the children here in the United States.
Exactly. In fact, my own son, I told him I'm shipping him over there to Sierra Leone next summer because he will be more appreciative of what we do for him.
They will.
And so these kids, believe me, they won't care. You get them something, they're so excited.
But
So
my
it doesn't
concern is
matter
your
what.
fundraiser is July 18th. To me, that's a long stretch out. That's got to be almost 6 months out. And these kids don't have anything now. They're not going to school now. Can't we do something between now and July 18th?
We sure can.
Even a telethon or something.
We sure can. We should be able to do something if we can get, because as you can imagine from the videos that I have watched, the kids are just roaming all over the place.
Yeah, and some of them aren't
they
gonna
try
be
to
alive
keep
on
them
July 18th.
quarantined, but they
Yeah.
need food. So they try to get away to go and get the food.
Right.
So it's a crisis. Even the hotels are shut down. Everything is a crisis over there. We're not really understanding the impact of what this disease is doing to the community. And again, because he is a liaison there, they're looking for him for help. They know he's here, and they're expecting him to
I mean,
help.
as I sit here and look at him, he looks hurt.
He is.
Okay?
He is.
And I imagine if I couldn't get in touch with my kids and they were 17, 14, 10, you know, young like this, 7 months, and I'm not even, I would be hurt because I see pain in your eyes, you know, and justifiably so. So we need to do something, people, to get this problem solved.
We're talking with approximately 100,000 people in the Comcast audience, and this program will air in Chicago. It airs in Time Warner in Kenosha and Racine, Wisconsin, you know. So the people there, but we don't have a website set up so they can, but is there a phone number they can call? They can call me, they get you know, Comcast Community Forum, you know.
I will be working with Elroy Reed, who is, maybe you can give us a little background about him, but when we start working with him with the fundraiser, he will be establishing a website. We did try to make connection with him today. I'm going to call him again, so as soon as I speak with him, we will have that website up and running. But if anyone wants to contact me directly, they can call me at my number. I don't know if I may.
And do we have your number to put on the air, which I believe is?
We can, if you're willing, we're willing to do it there.
Thank you. It's 224-627-8734. I wasn't sure if BJ was able to get that. So I'm going to say it again. It's 224-627-8734. Now, you do have a email address, but that's not pertaining to this. So.
No, so I will create another one for that as well.
All right, so that'll have a new email address. So the 224-627-8734 number is the number that we can use at this point to contact them, to donate money, and to have organizations donate money and funds to send back. Because I just think 6 months out, that's a long time to wait. I mean, a child's hungry today. You know, in 6 months they may not even be here. I hate to say that, but it's a high possibility.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we have a North Shore Baptist Ministers Alliance, which about 13
I think it's 13 churches at this point, 13
You
or
mentioned
14.
that Pastor John Caples at the Jesus Name Apostolic Church has been helping a great deal.
Is
and
Pastor
also,
Fletcher in that? Todd Fletcher?
No,
Is his church?
I'm not so sure
Todd
he's
Fletcher,
in
he's
the
the First Baptist of Lake
I'm not
Forest.
so sure he's a part of the Ministerial
he's
Alliance.
First Baptist of Lake Forest. I know exactly where that is
You know
located.
why I'm talking about? So
Yes.
is he part of the?
No.
No, we have, again, we're
It's
just,
Jesus Name
we're
Apostolic
just
Church.
beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think one of the key things that will also help Pastor, because the one-time donations do work, but one of the things that we're going to be emphasizing at the fundraising dinner is we're looking for people to partner who will send monthly donations. And he does have a bank account set up at Chase Bank. The Chase Bank, so it's a national bank. So we can get that account number so people can go directly and put the funds there at the bank. I think you have also a TCF Bank as well?
TCF Bank.
Right, so we do have those set up already. If people want to directly go there, we can give them get the account numbers for
I
those
think we can
banks.
get you a copy of this show because there's a show out of Chicago. I'm not sure if it's called AM Chicago, but it's on Channel 7, Chicago Wild Wind. Don't quote me. It comes on at 11 o'clock. I'm usually working, so I don't get to see it.
Okay.
But I do know that last week some nuns, their parish was in trouble. The boiler did not work, and they needed $50,000, and they raised $200,000 in 3 days.
Wow.
Okay, 3 days, all right, because it was on television, it was on Channel 7, which is a local show produced out of Chicago. So maybe if you could even get to, the lady's name is Val something,
Okay.
her show, I would honestly take a copy of this show,
Yes.
meet with her, and get this on that program. And people came out in 3 days, the nuns had more than they asked. They only needed 50, they got 150.
You mentioned about the Chase Bank, right?
And it was through Chase, that's what made me think about it.
Okay. Now, if we could have it on the show here, that they know they could go to Chase, we're telling them they can, but they have it on the show here to go to Chase Bank and just ask for Sierra
How
Leone.
do you have the fund set up? Do you have it? We probably have to set it up as Sierra Leone.
Now, let me just say this about Chase.
Okay.
Chase is very difficult right now
Oh yeah.
to give cash to because they're worried about laundering money.
Oh,
It is the most difficult bank to send money through is Chase. I'm going on record for saying that because it's a fact.
okay.
Because my
okay.
son is in Vermont, and if I want to put money in his account, I cannot put cash.
Oh,
If
wow.
I just want to put $200 in his account, they want they won't take it. They want to take it. They will take a check, but they won't take cash
Oh,
because they're worried about, they got fined for laundering money.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Chase is the most, you could go through Bank of America, go through
Bank
any
of
bank,
America, because
any
that
other
one,
bank,
okay.
but Chase is very difficult
Okay,
right now.
so
Wow.
we'll have
I
to
think
go
Chase was affected when they had the banking industry.
Is that what it is?
That's what it was. Chase was one of the banks that had to pay toward that $1 billion
Yes,
fine.
because they will not take
Okay,
cash.
okay.
Even for your own child. I took his birth certificate, everything. They would not let me put cash. $200. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Wow.
Well, something good. Just give us a couple of minutes about Jamaica. Why would anyone want to go to Jamaica?
Why would anyone? Well, it's the beaches. It's warm, the beaches, and I know people who have fallen in love. I have met people who have gone to other islands
Okay.
in the Caribbean, and they always say Jamaica is their favorite. That jerk chicken is what gets them.
Okay. okay.
My
Okay.
husband loves Jamaican food.
Oh, awesome.
But
So-
isn't there a Jamaican restaurant in Waukegan? Someone told me.
I don't know.
Oh,
Not
really?
anymore. There used to be one.
Oh, it's closed.
But
Oh.
there's
Okay.
one. There are a lot of them in Evanston. That's where a lot of the Jamaican restaurants are, because there are a lot of Jamaicans in Evanston.
But they have the resorts, and
Oh yes.
and you see a lot of commercials. Come to
Duns River
Jamaica.
Falls. You cannot go to Jamaica without going to Duns River Falls. I'm from Ocho Rios, and Duns River Falls is right outside of Ocho Rios.
Okay.
Because that's one of the sightseeing areas, and the white sand beaches, and just the laid-back culture. If you go to Jamaica and they tell you they will pick you up at 12, trust me, they won't get there till 4.
Oh, they're on CP time there,
yes,
too.
Yes.
We got CP time in Heaven's Band.
Big time. Some friends of mine went to Jamaica a few years ago, and they were going to go on tour. They were staying in Montego Bay, and they were going to Ocho Rios on tour. And so, the hotel told them to be ready by 10. Americans, they're right on time. They were up, got ready at 10, and the tour bus did not arrive till 1. And they're like,
They were on time.
wow.
They were on time.
Exactly.
I got that.
Exactly.
But we have a few minutes left here, but I'm so excited. I was excited about the Haitian had an earthquake, and we had Pastor Valamir.
Valdemar, yeah.
Valamir, he was on, and as a matter of fact, he's over there right now. We make 3 or 4 trips a year, and he mentioned they have the same problem in Haiti. He has to accompany the
Container.
containers, there to make sure. And it's kind of unfortunate, right? People starving. The lifespan there in Sierra Leone is about what?
The average age.
Average age of
55?
Oh, really?
about 55.
55 is the average age?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
Talking
amazing.
about a mean average for the country.
Okay,
Yeah.
the mean average.
Well, at what age do people die there?
Okay. I think it's about
That's good.
6, yeah.
That is amazing. Seriously.
So
Don't forget that here.
what about hospitals? You said they don't,
We don't have much hospitals.
okay.
We don't have much hospitals, yeah.
You can't
So you
get
need
medical.
like a clinic there. You need a medical team going over there. It looks like. In your
Yeah,
area.
I've been praying and waiting for that.
Wow.
That's
Well,
what
as far as
we-
community forum, we're doing what we can and getting the word out, and we'll continually to do that. Sierra Leone is on the list, as well as Haiti, And of course, next week we're going to have Pastor Kenneth Smith. He went to Nigeria
Oh.
and did, I think, heart surgeries on the youngsters, saving lives.
Save a life. There's a lot of doctors who do that, Dr. Brooks,
See,
every year.
Is there
Okay.
an organization that he can actually tap into, like a medical organization that he can tap into
There
for help?
is,
for
but
him to
but they are
skills?
there because this white doctor who came back here, he was part of that organization. So there is a group. I think it is called Save Lives. I know my son's going to medical school, and he's committed to do that as well. But his med school won't even allow them to go to Sierra Leone
Right.
because it's so dangerous.
Right.
But I think it is called Save Lives. I'll give you my number, and then
Okay.
I'll get you.
And
in
some of the
contact.
medical supplies, I used to work for the American National Red Cross, and they do have a national disaster team. In terms of medical supplies, aligned with the Red Cross in the area. There's one on Ohio and Dearborn in Chicago. But there are companies, once you contact the Red Cross, they can connect you up with medical supplies.
Right, briefly, so that we know, is there a medicine exactly that would cure Ebola before it got to this final state that we can ship out? Is
Well,
it,
I've been hearing about medication that they have been able to, like, you know,
and penicillin, would penicillin help?
slow the but it's like
Oh,
not
okay,
happening.
we come to the close, but not the beginning of giving note. Tara, thank you very much, and Janet Chakowski. Chakowski Davidson, all right. Pastor Maurice Wilson, Pastor Shalom World Outreach Ministries, and of course, anchor
Deacon
person
Williams.
Deacon Gregory Williams, the Shalom Baptist Church in Waukegan. Thank you very much, and we're going to continue to support you, okay?
Thank you so
and
much
hope
for
the
having us.
community supports you too. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host. Claire.